client, if we do that, we'll give you a percentage. And they say, well, you know what, that's incremental business. We don't have to pay anything. They will do the work, maybe it'll pay off, and we'll gain more money for it. So they'll say, yeah. And they're going to give you rights, which you otherwise wouldn't have for the work for hire. And you'll see examples from Larian. For us, this has been extremely successful, this approach. We did work for hire, gained rights which the other party was not interested in, and we made millions of euros with that.
Следующий момент заключается в том, что когда вы работаете на кого-то, у вас есть возможность несколько расширить свои возможности. Вы можете договориться с вашим клиентом о том, чтобы вы получите некий дополнительный бонус за выполнение каких-то дополнительных сверх ваших обязательств, обязанностей. И это хороший способ получить дополнительную прибыль.
Now, a trick in the games industry of earning money, and you see that with a lot of successful studios, and you will be surprised by how many of the successful studios actually do this, is that they are active not in the games industry, but in other industries. And the reason they do that is because in a lot of other industries, people tend to pay their invoices faster and are more correct and have more cash than in the games industry, where the risk is high. So, again, I'll show you examples in a second. Try to think out of the box. Try to think not about how can I make money in the games industry, but maybe how can I make money in the media industry, like television, advertising, the serious games industry, and try to incorporate that in your work for hire that you accept. So if you say, well, this guy is asking me to do a portal and an online 3D portal, that's cool, I'll do that for him because he's paying me good money. But you know, that same online 3D portal, if I just reskin it a little bit, I might sell it to an advertising agency. So that's the thing I mean with other opportunities. So think outside of the games industry when you're accepting work for hire, and if you have the option to select, because I know you don't always have that opportunity, but if you have it, do it. Select it that way.
Следующий совет заключается в том, чтобы не зацикливаться именно на игровой индустрии. Всегда есть возможность поработать с какими-то смежными или близкими индустриями, как телевидение или реклама. В частности, это себя часто оправдывает, потому что меньше финансовых рисков в этих индустриях, лучше и аккуратнее оплачиваются счета, и у вас есть всегда возможность так организовать свой бизнес, чтобы одно и то же вложение сил, средств и времени вы могли употребить в разных направлениях.
I'm going to skip over the rest. You could read what was on there, so it's self-obvious. Quickly about publishing, the classic publishing deal, the deal which starting developers all try to get, the advances versus royalty publishing deal. Well, first advice, if you can, don't do it. Yeah? If you have the cash, don't do it. If you don't have the cash, okay, maybe you have no choice. Know that the money that you're going to get in your publishing deal, in a lot of cases, the only money that you're going to get. Forget those royalties, because it's advances versus royalties. So for people who don't understand what that means, an advance versus royalties means that you're going to get money, and you're going to have to pay that money back to the publisher with a percentage of the revenue which is gained by the publishing deal. So that means if a publisher gives you 1 million euros and 20% royalties, you'll first have to earn 5 million euros with your product before you're going to get your first 20 cents on the next euro, right? So that's rare that happens, okay? It happens, but it doesn't happen that much. And for the majority of developers, it doesn't happen at all in advances versus royalties. So when you sign a publishing deal, think of it like work for hire, right? All the same things which I said for work for hire apply also. Think like, okay, well, my cost is, let's say, 5,000 euros per month for this hotshot developer. And then add your margin on top of it, because that's going to be your profit. And don't get into this industry without making a profit, because you're going to need your cash for sure at some point.
Ну и рассматривая заключительное классический способ, когда издатель издает вашу игру, Свен советует рассматривать этот способ как самый последний и наименее желательный. Если вы рассчитываете на роялти, нужно быть готовым к тому, что пройдет очень значительное время, прежде чем ваш проект выйдет на окупаемость, и тогда уже издатель начнет с вами делиться. И во многом этот подход похож на то, как если бы вы просто устроились в штат к этому издателю и потеряли полностью свою независимость.
Okay, so I'm going to quickly browse through 13 years of history here. There are 4 takeaways, which is, for me, my guidelines in doing deals. The first one you'll see is always make sure that you have more than one project. Because if you don't make your company dependent on a single project. If you do that, it might work once, it might work twice, but one day you're going to die on this. Or almost die, as we'll see.
Несколько таких принципов, которые Свен извлек из собственного опыта за время его работы в Larian. Первый совет заключается в том, что не надо ставить все на одну лошадь, даже если у вас есть полная уверенность, что эта лошадь призовая, потому что это может сработать раз, может сработать два, но рано или поздно вы потеряете все и вылетите в трубу.
Make sure you have reserves, right? So I know this is hard because I've been in the garage too, but make sure there are financial reserves. I mean, the first financial reserve of Larian Studios was Coke bottles, bottles of Coca-Cola. And why were they our first financial reserves? Because we could bring them to the supermarket and get money for those bottles. And the surprising thing is that we actually had to do that 3 times, right? So our offices were things of Coca-Cola like this with wooden planks on it. That was our desk, right? And we knew, and it happened in the very beginning, that we were sitting on the floor because we brought back all the boxes and the bottles to get some cash to survive, at least get some food. That was in the very beginning, but
Следующий совет достаточно сложный, он заключается в том, что всегда нужно иметь некий финансовый резерв, несмотря на то, что это действительно проблемно для начинающих, для бедных разработчиков независимых. И в частности, в истории Лариана была показательная история с Coca-Cola, которую у них можно вернуть в магазин и получить обратно деньги. И что самое интересное, что вот эти вот ящики с Coca-Cola, которые стояли в офисе, пришлось за всю историю Лариана 3 раза возвращать, как раз чтобы обналичить вот эти вот кока-кольные деньги и потратить их дальше уже на разработку.
We still have those bottles, by the way.
Но они еще остались, эти бутылочки, так что если что.
Another thing I try to do is the moment I sign a project, I'm already working on my next project. This is a very simple one, just try to do that. And there's a lot more takeaways, but I'll show you now some pictures, I think, yeah, okay.
Следующий, последний момент был то, что когда вы начинаете какой-то проект, уже стоит думать о следующем. Это, в принципе, связано с первым пунктом, чтобы не ставить все деньги на одну лошадь. Это сложно, но нужно планировать все заранее.
Okay, we're 97 here. This is my first signed project with an American publisher called Ionos at the time. Guy put all the money in his pocket, bought a nice house, let the publisher go bankrupt. I couldn't sue him because I didn't have any cash, so I lost the money which was earned with this one.
Первый пример – этот проект, который был с американским паблишером подписан. В итоге он обанкротился и денег никаких не было.
Okay, still that worse. This was the next one. This was The Lady, the Mage and the Knight, or LMK, with a publisher which went bankrupt in the middle of production as I had 40 people working for me. And I was already making debts because I wasn't being paid my milestones. Then it turned out that he went bankrupt and I had nothing.
Следующий проект, вот эта ролевая игра, тоже нельзя назвать позитивным. В середине разработки издатель обанкротился, и совершенно не на что было содержать команду разработчиков уже из 40 человек. Свен к тому времени уже влез в некоторые долги.
And then I did a clever thing, because so far I was a one-product company. I said, well, I have all these debts, all these guys, I have to pay them. How am I going to pay them? And we said, you know what, we're going to start doing very small projects and we're going to do a lot of them. And I'll show you some examples. We did gambling games, like this. This was for television. It was for introduction of the euro in Belgium. And we did a whole bunch of these. Here's another one, a quiz. We did all this stuff, and each of these things you've seen was 10,000 euros. So 10,000 euros, 10,000 euros, 10,000 euros, and we did it very fast. And that's how we paid our debts back.
И тогда Свен придумал такую вещь, как, собственно говоря, расплатиться со всеми долгами и снова выйти на тропу жизни. Вместо того, чтобы подписывать какие-то большие проекты, лучше сосредоточиться на маленьких проектах, так сказать, вооружиться принципом курочка по зернышку клюет, 10 тысяч там, 10 тысяч здесь, вот всякие игры картежные, еще какие-то для телевидения, и в итоге вот эта схема позволила в итоге выйти в ноль.
So we released in that year about 25 projects actually, and at some point we were making a lot of cash. And then we did something very stupid. We became a one-project company again, because we had cash. So we put...
За год было издано почти 25 игр, даже компания начала извлекать прибыль, и вот на этой радостной ноте они снова вернулись к схеме больших проектов.
So we started making a game called Divine Divinity, and well, it was called Divinity. The publisher named it Divine Divinity, so we started working on that one, and we spent a lot of effort in it, and we got over